Trigger warning, this is my paranormal activity experience. So when I was 14, I was friends with this girl, and she was telling me about how her older sister told her about this spot where she wanted to take us. It was a bridge in the woods at a dead end in the middle of nowhere. She said that years ago, a little boy fell over the bridge and died, and that supposedly you throw coins into the lake and close your windows, and then a few seconds later, the coins will fall back on top of your car. I was so scared to go. I'm like, I don't fuck with any of that shit. I don't like paranormal stuff like that. But I was already in the car with my friend and her older sister, and I was like, you know what? Fine. Fuck it, fine. I'm just gonna cry, but whatever. So we end up driving, going to the bridge, and it was me, my friend's older sister, and my friend's older sister's boyfriend. And just so you guys know, this shit gets crazy. There's gonna be another part to this. So her sister and her sister's boyfriend throw the coins. Trigger warning, this is part 2 of my paranormal activity experience. So we were sitting in the car, and the older sister and her boyfriend throw the coins into the lake, and we hear them plop, and they rolled up the windows. And I was literally shaking. I was so scared, and I was like, see, like nothing's gonna happen. And right after I said that, all the coins fell straight back right on top of the car. We heard all of them plop. And I was like, oh no, fuck no, take me home right now. I want to go. Can we please leave? I started shaking. I started crying. I was like, please, can you take me home? And the older sister and the boyfriend were like kind of laughing, but they were like, all right, fine. So she busted a quick Yui, and we were on our way out. Mind you, there is only one way to get to that dead end, and that's exactly the way that we were leaving. There were no other roads to get there. There was only one. Everything else was woods. So we're driving up the thing, and all of a sudden, of course, we see a truck behind us with bright ass headlights literally tailgating us, and we were going like fast for a dirt path. Trigger warning, this is part 3 of my paranormal experience. So her sister started going really fast, whipping it around turns, hitting potholes, just driving crazy, trying to get the hell out of the woods. This person or thing, whatever it was that was following us, it was like, it felt like it was coming for us. Like it was really close behind us. It was scary. So finally there was one big turn, and she whipped it really hard, and poof, the truck literally just vanished, disappeared, complete darkness behind us. There was bright ass headlights, and it just completely shut off. We were all like, what the fuck? Where did this truck go? Did it just turn off its lights and then just act like they weren't even there anymore? Like, we did not know where it went. But me and my friend, until we hit the normal main road again, we were looking out the back window to see if it would come back because we were scared. And you would think after whipping a bunch of turns, hitting a bunch of potholes, that all those coins, they'd been on the ground by now. But no, the second we hit the main road, all the coins fell off the windshield.
Storytime. So me and this girl Jessica had a lot of beef together. She would always spread rumors about how I am adopted because I don't look like the rest of my family. And that was not true. But one day, I showed up to school and everyone was just staring at me in a really mean way. It's like I murdered someone. I quickly run to my best friend and ask her what's going on. She then told me that I told Jessica that she was a spoiled brat and that I beat her behind the school. And it turns out that Jessica told the whole grade. Everyone was against me. My first 2 classes passed and it felt like I've been there for a year. Everyone was still staring at me and I just couldn't get anyone to believe me. But I had enough of Jessica. During lunchtime, I went up behind her and pulled her hair as hard as I could. And it turned out Jessica had fake hair. She was using a wig. So I was so fed up with Jessica's actions that I decided to pull her hair. Best decision I have ever done. Because it turns out her hair was a wig. Yes, her hair was fake, just like her personality. Jessica turned around and looked me in the eye and said, "You're gonna pay for this." And she stormed out of the cafeteria. The next day, she shows up to school and everyone was staring at her. The reason for that is that she showed up in a bun and with a hydro flask, shell necklaces, friendship bracelets, and you name it, all of the Visco Girls stuff. Her friends told the whole school about the incident, so you better get rid of those friendship bracelets, Jessica. But since the whole school knew, one of those really hot football players came up to Jessica and told her, "You know you're not Charlie D'Amelio." So one of those really hot football players came up to Jessica and told her, "Jessica, you know you're not Charlie D'Amelio, right? So drop the act. Y'all should have seen Jessica's face. She got up and ran to the principal's office and told her everything that just happened. And since the principal was a little bit strict, she gathered all of the grade and was confronting us and asking us who was bullying Jessica. Me and other boys and girls stood up without hesitation and told the principal it was us. Then the principal gave all of us 1 month of detention. I actually didn't care, even though I think that she was the one who should have gotten detention, but I don't even like the girl. Story time about this girl who faked being Latina. So there was this girl who went to my school. Let's call her Sarah. Sarah is the queen of lies. In every subject we talk about, Sarah always, and I mean always, comes up with a lie that has to do with her life. Here's an example. What if we're talking about Tom Holland? She'd just come in and say, oh yeah, Tom Holland is my dad's friend. I met him once. You know, these types of lies. Another one is when she told everyone she's Latina. It was lunchtime in school, and we were talking about where we went for the summer. Sarah tells us that she went to Spain, and she started telling us on what she did there, and says that she's 50% Latina. She also said that she lived in Spain for 6 years, and if there is any person who lived in Spain for 6 years, they must know how to speak Spanish. And then my friend Kayla asked her, what does good morning mean in Spanish? We all know it's buenos dias. She just My friend Kayla asked Sarah, what does good morning mean in Spanish? And then Sarah looks at us, looks back at her food, and said, I don't know, I'm still taking Spanish lessons. And we just look at her, that she doesn't even know what good morning means in Spanish. If she had lived in Spain for 6 years, she would have known what it meant. I don't know how, but that incident has spread around the entire school. Every person that walks past Sarah just says, Buenos dias, basically teasing her about not knowing what good morning means in Spanish. And then Sarah didn't show up to school for 3 days after that. And oh boy, we haven't even gotten to the crazy part. The 3 days pass, and Sarah comes back to school. As soon as she walks into the class, everyone's eyes was on her. She came up, sat in her seat, and this lady showed up to school. So after 3 days of Sarah not coming to school, she showed up in a crop top, skinny jeans, fake nails, and fake lashes. And her hair was in a bun with edges. Yes, you heard me, edges. This lady is white. And in lunchtime, she took out a bag of hot Cheetos and some dipping sauce. I don't know if this was supposed to make us think she's Latina, but trust me, it didn't work. All of the freshmen and sophomores took out their phone and started filming her. This is where I kind of felt bad, but she ran to the bathroom crying, and she just stayed there and didn't show up to any classes for the rest of the day. Story time. So there was this one girl in 7th grade, let's call her Lexi. Lexi was a pick-me girl. She was always like, boys are less drama, you know. And Lexi used to sit next to me in class. And I was throwing a Halloween party later this week. I decided to write a list of what we're going to be doing at the party in class while Lexi's sitting next to me. She looks over at my notebook and sees it. And she was like, I'm invited, right? I looked at her and I just didn't say anything because I didn't want to tell her she's not. She got really excited and was like, I'm going to be wearing a devil costume. Actually, no, I want to be the angel. And at the end of class, she told me to send her the location and information on her Instagram. And I remembered that Lexi had a lot of spam accounts and accounts she doesn't use. So I decided to send her the information on one of the accounts she doesn't use. 2 days later, I get a message from Lexi. She sent me a message from one of her real accounts. Then she told me that I forgot to send her the information for the party. I told her that I did send the location, but on her other account, and that I didn't know she stopped using it. Lexi didn't believe me, so I sent her a screenshot. Then I told her that since she didn't confirm, she can't come to the party because I had a limit of 20 people. Lexi got really mad and started calling me mean stuff, that I'm rude and forgetful. And then Lexi blocked me not just on Instagram, but on Snapchat and TikTok. Of course, I didn't care and just went on with my day. Fast forward to the next day, which was the day of my party. Things were going great. Me and my friends had an amazing time. But after an hour, I get a phone call from a random number. I didn't answer, number one, because the music was too loud and I was too busy with my friends. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes pass, and that number calls me again. I handed my phone to my friend and let her. Here's part 3, sorry it took too long. So I handed my phone to my friend and let her answer the phone. She told me that there was a person waiting for me in front of the house. I, of course, didn't want to go outside alone, so I let my friend Jason come out with me. As soon as we arrived to the front of the house, we see Lexi and her mother sitting next to her in her car. I just stood there in disbelief, not knowing what to do. Lexi got out of the car, looked at me and rolled her eyes, then looked at Jason and started talking to him. She was like, "Hey Jason, do you miss me? Jason, can I come in?" And Jason didn't know what to say, but he said yes. And Lexi had the audacity to show up to my party after she blocked me on all of my social media. Lexi stayed with Jason and Jason's friend. I couldn't enjoy my night anymore after that. The next day in school, I told my teacher the story and she moved my place.